Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie Omiller, back for another episode with another inspiring friend, leader in the sports industry, and my performance coach of 10 years. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people I have met through my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. We've got another really special guest this week, and I'm really pumped to get right into it. TJ DeMartino is a guest that I was so excited to have just in a pure sense of exploring the makings of his mindset with you all. TJ has been my performance coach for 10 years now, no exaggeration. I started training with TJ when I was a freshman in high school. We started working on the normal motions of learning how to lift in a weight room, running movement patterns, really just keeping me in shape while I played 3 sports in high school. Our journey goes so much deeper than where it started, however. Over the years, TJ has been not only my physical performance coach in charge of creating workout plans for me on a weekly basis, but my nutritionist, someone that has shifted the way I approach my leadership qualities, and so much more. He's one of those people that truly knows how I operate inside and out, on the field, in the weight room, why I'm failing on the field, and how to get in my head to push me to limits I've never been able to reach on my own before, and keep myself striving for those kinds of limits. He's someone whose mindset needs to be shared with more of the world and less with me. He gets enough of me. Still training on a daily, 6 days a week, every week of the year, meeting to reach new goals, habits, and nutrition plans. I hope you can take even just a small fraction of his mindset from our conversation, because I promise, he truly knows what he's talking about. Awesome. All right, girls, we're going to get started. Thank you guys for being here as usual and for doing all that you do for KO17 Lacrosse. I hope you guys are having a great week after 4th of July. I hope you all had a great 4th of July weekend with friends and family and stayed safe and saw lots of fireworks and things like that. Oh, there you go. You're with your cousin. Hi, Gabby's cousin. Awesome. So I'm super excited about today. I know that we have had some really successful Wednesday Wisdoms in the past, over the past couple of weeks, and you guys have all been on here. And I'm very excited about today because, you know, this is someone that I've known for, I don't like to say it because it ages me, but 10 years now and counting, and someone that's really special to not only my lacrosse career and you know, where the levels that I got to because of the training that I did and because of the mental check-ins that I did and all the stuff, all the behind the scenes stuff that TJ and myself did together that helped me on the lacrosse field, but just in so many other levels as well. You know, I've kind of found myself as a person. I'm continuing to do it again over and over and over again and setting new goals and, you know, business opportunities. There are just so many endless things that I can say that TJ and I have done together. And I'm so excited to kind of share his wisdom with you all today because he truly is someone who on a daily basis can get inside this very stubborn brain of mine and, you know, make a turnaround. So I'm very excited to kind of tap into that. He's not only my performance trainer, he is someone in my heart. So without further introduction, this is TJ DeMartino. I'll let him say a little bit about himself.
What's up, girls?
Welcome.
And Sarah. Yeah, so Kylie made me seem really special, and it's cool to be on a Zoom call where I'm special because most of our calls, she's the special one. So, yeah, I've been working with Kylie for, like a million years now. She was actually the first like athlete that I got to work with when I was doing my internship. So I was kind of getting to like experiment my knowledge on Kylie while learning and building a relationship. And it kind of like spiraled into like all these different areas that her and I had no idea were related to performance. You know, when we first got started, it was, you know, running sprints and training with the football guys. And then we started to develop our nutrition and start to tap in some of the mental skills that were relating to the field. And it's spiraled into something cool now where we're trying to give back to, like, you know, you guys who are coming up and want to know about, you know, how do I become more like what Kylie's doing? And, you know, she's someone that wants to show you the behind the scenes. Most people in her position want to just show you the flashy stuff. Like, she wants to show you the work ethic and, the mentality, the food choices, the decisions, the ups and downs, and, the regular human side of this whole process. So that's kind of like, where we're at. And it's been a, funky journey over the last couple months with the summer. And, if adversity is hitting everybody, I mean, she's one that's definitely handling it at a high level.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for making me feel super old. Watch, but no, girls, I think as mentioned, I think our journey is something super special, and we will kind of get into that as well. But a little bit more about TJ. He played football at Springfield, and he is a performance coach and nutritionist at Sports and Fitness Performance. Again, the gym that I've been going to for the last 10 years. And he just became the founder of his own company. So excited to see where he goes with that. But so we always start with a little segment I like to call off to a good start. So I think a lot of interviews, a lot of things like that, people just hop right into it after a little formal introduction. I want to dig deep. I want to know, we always like to put our best foot forward right when we start, and that's, what's going to give us a good day, what's going to give us a good training session, what's going to give us, the best hour, the next hour together. So 3 things that I'm going to ask you about your day, about your mentality, all these things. So first and foremost, what is something that you are thankful for today, TJ?
I was thinking about this morning. I'm actually thankful that I did my journaling exercise this morning, because I've been listening to you talk to all our athletes about doing it, and every morning I've been waking up just like miserable about like the same routine. COVID is making me lose my brain. Like the journal's not going to do anything. And I was like, you know what? Like just stick to your routine today. Like see how it opens up your day. Because I realized I wasn't giving my biggest effort to a lot of my athletes. And I was like, what is it that's sticking? And I was like, well, I'm not hitting any of my daily routines, starting from like literally the first thing that I usually do when I open my eyes. So I'm very thankful that I listened to good TJ on the shoulder, and I just started writing about how I'm hating writing this journaling exercise, and boom, like 2 minutes into it, I was like, oh, this is a good start to the day. So
there we go. Off to a good
internally start. Good, thankful. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. So, I mean, this probably goes hand in hand, but try to think of something different, because, you always challenge me with my journaling exercises and going deep, but something that you're proud to say that you've accomplished today.
I met with 3 new performance coaches that are scattered right now because of this whole thing, and are extremely interested in like learning the methodology of what I'm doing and how they could work with athletes and nutrition and understand my educational process. And they were like so pumped. Like one girl was like studying to get a certification and was like just literally quit it today and was like, I want to like, let's like, mission sounds aligned with mine, like let's go. So it was really cool to see that like the things that I've been talking about are like powerful and like other people want to join. So I think that was pretty cool.
That's incredible. Just up and dropped everything to go under your wing. I mean, I would do it too. So I'm sure a lot of girls would after this call as well, after getting to know you. So last but not least, putting our best foot forward here, something that you're really pumped up to go out and chase, whether it's today, tomorrow, in the next couple months in life, something that you're pumped to chase.
So I don't know if you guys, I know Sarah did, I feel like I saw the name Grace on the games. I know you guys played a few of Kylie's leadership games. So I'm working on a big project to get educational games on nutrition, leadership, and movement to every kid in the country. And I know it sounds like a gigantic dream, but my goal over the next coming months and year is to be able to spread that education to everybody across the country of all school districts. And it's a big project. I'm super excited to chunk it down into little manageable things and like hammer away at it every day. So I think that's like what I'm most excited about in my morning, and, gets me fired up for the rest of the day.
Well, I'm excited to see and hear all about that, even though I know all about it already, but I'm going to act like I don't. So, so I think Awesome. We're off to a good start here. We have gotten to know TJ just a little bit of, who he is now and what he's chasing now and what he's grateful for now. But let's go back to the beginning, right? Like what's your background? Like, we know I mentioned that you played football at Springfield, but
Mhm.
how did you get to where you're sitting right here today that you can talk about these things? When you were growing up, where did you grow up?
Mhm.
What role did sports play in your life? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm from Long Island. I played football at Babylon. I think I was always a really curious athlete, meaning like I never was really good, and I was always like wondering how I could figure out a way to get an edge and get better. And I don't know if I was ever like upset that I wasn't good. I was just upset that like I didn't have enough time to like master a craft, right? So sports became this outlet of like curiosity and like almost this stubbornness of like, how can I get better at this thing, whether it's basketball or football, something about football. And it gave me like an outlet. I almost got like lost in it. So that journey of like always being the worst and like not feeling that I really am the worst, or like just when you have something stuck in your tooth and you can't get it, like that was like my whole sporting career. It's like I don't know what this is teaching me or where it's going, but I think over the journey, like doing like retrospective now, is like it gave me a blueprint to be a leader and do exactly what I'm doing now. Was I the best at the moment? Not necessarily. But I definitely was very overlooked for certain qualities that I had, and I never really had a coach to emphasize what I was good at. So I guess I always thought I needed to work on all these different things. And when if someone was just like, TJ, these are the top 3 things you're great at, we think you could be a high level athlete if you really double down on these. So I
Yeah.
spent my whole career just randomly going down wrong paths, trying to figure out how to go do that thing and that thing when it just had nothing to do with what I was good at. So I think that exploration got me into this field of like, wow, the last 20 years I've done everything wrong. Like, so if Sarah needs to work on this, and this, I already know what everything wrong is. So like, let's emphasize what Sarah's great at. So that's kind of what the blueprint of sports, have done for me. And I'm just really competitive too.
Where do you
So it's
where do
something,
you think you got that competitiveness from? Because I think that, I know you and I have had conversations about this multiple times, but and I think everyone on this call is very competitive, just in a sense that I know these girls personally now, and I know
yeah,
these app subscribers now that anytime there's a giveaway, anytime there's some sort of something, it's like I want to be the first one to do it. I want to do it the best, and I want to
yeah,
I want to ultimately win, whatever it is in life. But like
yeah.
that's a thing. Like where do you think you learned that? And then I'll go further into the question of one of my favorite questions that was, I believe, an exercise in school, that you
Yeah.
had to write about was, do you think that competitiveness, that leadership, that competitiveness, that drive, is that something you're born with, or you think you learn it?
Yeah, I think I was having this conversation the other day. I think I think drive is it's born. It's in your DNA, right? I separate what most people call motivation into drive and motivation. I think of motivation as like, if I watch a video on YouTube of like my favorite athlete in like a pump up video and sick music, like I'm gonna be extremely excited to go do whatever I'm supposed to do, whether it's a workout. But the second that workout's done, I lose everything that video gave me, right? That's why motivational speakers sometimes are great for the moment, but they don't lead to lasting change.
Mm.
I think drive is just there, and then the motivation is like fuel where it just ignites it. So I think I didn't know I had drive, and I faked a lot of motivation for so long that I ended up like hitting my face on the fact that I actually had drive. So I had all these roadblocks, and I got like, the mental, component to being an athlete takes over. And, you don't really, when you're supporting staff around you, doesn't really emphasize your leadership qualities. You just believe you're not a leader. So I think genetically I have something in me that does extremely well with leading and organizing people and groups and teams. But being in my position of like always being put down, I had to like just motivate myself. When if someone was just like, TJ, this is what you're great at, I probably would have just been driven like since I was, 11 years old. So I didn't really have a supporting environment and staff. Like, you know, my family it's not, my mom and dad weren't like big into sports where, you know, I had trainers around me, and, you know, my dad drives a Harley Davidson, and my mom, she played softball for a little while, but she's like an artist. So it's like, when you don't have that around you and you're just cultivating it. So I think I had to cultivate it for a while until it was just so much in front of me that I was like, oh, wow, like it's actually there. Does that make sense? That's
Yeah,
like the only way I can like articulate it.
absolutely. I think it makes sense to me, and I think that you can see that in where you're at now, right? Like, and how that drives you, and we're gonna get a little bit into that. But you know, I think what can you say to these girls and to other girls that might be struggling with finding that motivation, right? Might be struggling with finding that drive. It might be something similar where it's like that support staff around them is not necessarily where their drive is, right? Like where they're at with their passion. You know, their parents might not be there, or their team might not be there, their coach, whatever it might be, like those outside factors that are pulling them down, that are kind of like weights tied to their ankles. How were you able to kind of push through that, and how were you able to kind of come out on the other side?
No, I think you need to act first, get motivated later, right? So think about that for a second. Action, you guys have dogs or cats? Everyone? I got a dog now. I used to have a cat. All right, so action is like a dog. It's literally always there. You come home, you open the door, it jumps on you till like forever. A cat, though, you guys have all seen cats. Some days they're there and they're excited. Some days they bite you and like hiss at you and run away. Some days you can't even find it. That's motivation. If every day I woke up looking for motivation, I'd be running around the house, right? But if I act every single day, eventually that feeling that I was looking for just comes. So too often when you're younger, we're trying to like wait for the day and wait for the time and wait for the thing Kylie tells me that makes me feel good, versus find a role model that you trust in, regardless of how smart they are or what they know. If they come up with a plan and you execute it every day, it's better than the one day where you felt amazing and you ran 3 miles and you took your stick and you worked on every dodge drill Kylie talked about and you ate broccoli every meal. Like, just every day, just do something. Document it, put it down, add to it, right? And then all those actions end up just smacking you in the face with like extreme motivation. And then that turns into drive. So there's that like formula that I follow, right? So today, like I didn't want to journal and I was waiting for the day to get motivated to journal. Honestly, for the last week, I was like, screw it. Like, just grab my journal. I was half asleep. It's like 5 a.m. I just did it, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I'm just going to keep that momentum going until there's that level of motivation that it's like, okay, this is part of my routine again. Boom. So does that make sense? Like, act first. So tomorrow morning when you want to do something and you're like, oh, I don't really feel like it, just go run outside. Like, don't even think, and go do it.
Look both ways before you cross the street, though.
Yeah. Or if you're in your bed. I had sports psychology class, and I'll never forget this. The teacher was like, you got to follow the 3-second rule. When you're in your bed, your alarm clock rings. You have 3 seconds to get right out of your bed before you start thinking about every negative thing that's going on. Right? So if you just get up and got out and did 5 push-ups, boom, day's done. You just did whatever that you didn't want to do. Or you get up and you drink your water. So I think that mentality of making it objective rather than like, you know, this big thing is like my approach.
I mean, I think that's huge. I think that's things that tie into a lot of not only like our journaling techniques, but things that we've talked about over the course of our years together is, you know, a lot of, and we were talking about this a little bit on our call last week we had one of my friends from the PLL. He is also a mental performance coach. His name is Mark Glacini, and he had some good little pieces of wisdom for us, but we were talking about the idea of a lot of things seeming a lot bigger than they are, and like things, you know, kind of like the weights of outside forces and the world and like our responsibilities and our goals and our dreams and our aspirations, like they sound either super far in the future or unattainable or you know, they just, if you make them subjective like that, they just end up being thoughts that end up turning into these negative little things that just fly around in your head the whole day. But
I think too many people make like 3, 5 year, like yearly goals. Like I have like hour goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally to like hour to day to week. Like if I think anything farther than that, like literally this Monday or Tuesday, like if I planned what I was going to do this Tuesday and everything changed on Monday when I had a different random phone call. So like
Mm-hmm.
if imagine I spent all that time like writing out this plan, like this is what I'm going to do. And then like that call happened and I just wasted 8 hours building this elaborate plan. You got to think about where you want to go and then chunk it back down to this today. I'm going to win today and then I'm going to win this week and then I'm going to assess. I'm going to add next week. If you do that, there's literally forever. You'll never not get anywhere. And if you have a coach like Kylie who can think long term, like, hey guys, next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, from a performance standpoint or a lacrosse standpoint, these are the areas we're going to work on. But don't worry about that. Just do this, Sarah, every single day. Like boom, every single day. So I think that mentality to me is changed how I think, because I used to be an overthinker and plan for, when I'm 40 years old and like, what the hell's the point of that? It's like.
Oh, I think it's so important. And I think that, taking it day by day, like one, nothing's guaranteed, right? Clearly within the situation that we're in right now, global pandemic going on, nobody could have saw that coming. Right.
Yeah.
And I think to go back to your in the very beginning was like, that has started to get to us. That's definitely started to get to all of us in some sense. Like, all right, even though now at this point we are very, very close to getting back out on the field, if we haven't already, there's still that uncertainty. There's still that fear. There's still that fact that we're a spring sport. We're lacrosse players. We should have been getting contact. We should have been playing 7-on-7. We should have been getting real life game reps for the last 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and we haven't. And I know there's a lot of anxiety around that, and there's a lot of like, what am I going to look like when I get back out on the fields when I finally do? What happens if I don't look the same or I don't feel the same, or did I just waste the last couple months? And there's a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty, and there really has been for the last couple months. And I think in a sense of like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, how do you handle that uncertainty, other than you want to make it objective, right? You want to write things down, write your goals down. How do you want to attack the day? What, in a bigger sense, like how are you able to, for example, a big game's coming up, big tournament, big recruiting showcase for our lacrosse girls here. How do you calm that? How do you calm that anxiety? How do you know that the work that you've been putting in, even though it hasn't been tested yet, how do you know that it's gonna show up on game day?
Yeah, it's tough because there's like a certain element where, the greatest performers and, masters, like they live for uncertainty. Like they just love it because it's like a weird artistic, like creative experience. So, I guess the best way to handle the anxiety is like list all the things that in the upcoming game or tournament that you're scared of that you're not going to be able to do, and spend a week, like let's say the tournament's in 2 weeks, like hammer away all of those things for the next week. But then the week after, you should embrace all the randomness of what's going to happen in that tournament. Like you can't control one thing that's going to happen there. You twist your ankle, you're dehydrated, but because you worked on all those fearful things, that uncertainty is just noise in your head, right? Or in your heart or emotionally. So I think like you have to think a little bit ahead, write down the most fearful things about that tournament, and then just literally just jump into it. Guest, we got the guest.
Hey,
look at the abs.
brother.
Whoa, Jack.
I love it. He wants to show it off to the trainer in the group.
Yeah,
I love it. Coming on back. Let me see those muscles. I love it. So funny. Come on, I'm flexing too. Nice. Yeah. There we go.
Shirt.
Crushing it. All right. Well, I love that answer. I mean, I think it's it's something that obviously every athlete at every level experiences. And this was something that, again, another guest and I were talking about. But it's something that a lot of my peers and I have conversations about, because technically and I talk to you about this a lot as well, but technically I'm supposed to be at the highest level of our sport, right? And to these girls and to a lot of girls across the world in our sport aspiring to be there, it seems perfect, right? It seems like a perfect journey. And it seems as if, every time we step on the field, there's no nerves, there's no anxiety, there's nothing, which is completely false. I think that a message that we like to get across a lot is the idea that those nerves, those fears, those uncertainties, they don't go away once you hit a certain point, right? And this is something that I talk to you about a lot is I don't necessarily believe that there's a peak at the mountain that I'm climbing for, right? Like, I think that once I get to that one peak, like, there's going to be more mountains, and I think that it's just a continuous level to keep climbing to the next step of greatness. And, I think that kind of ties into what I want to talk to you about next. And is really just kind of like you coming from your athletic career as a football player into now your coaching career, and now, molding young minds and young athletes into from what you've taken from your career, right? From your career. And I think, you always hear when on a sense of leadership, you always hear about the star players, because I think on teams and in communities that rally around those teams, you hear about a star player, you think they're all automatically a leader just because, they're the star, they're the talented one. Oh, everyone else on the team must want to follow in their footsteps, must want to be exactly like them. But that's not necessarily the case, right? And I think that, you were a massive leader on your team, like a very, very influential leader on your team. Like, how did you come about that role? And what was important about that role to you? I remember you talking to me about it your fifth year at Springfield.
Oh man, 10 years of people just lying to me, like coaches. You guys are young, but you'll deal with or maybe you're dealing with it now because sports world is crazy. But like if there were just coaches that just looked you in the eyes and were like, listen, TJ, you're about 5 or 7 years away from being good. Here's a path. Like, these are the coaches that you need to be around. Like, I would have been like full force, like, awesome. Instead of like, yeah, you're gonna be this and you're gonna be that, and like, everyone's playing with your emotions, and as a young kid, you're like, you start believing everybody, and all of a sudden, like, who are you believing? So I think mine stemmed from like, when I was like in 7th grade, they made me like a lineman, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with football, but like, I was a little chubby, so they just were like, yeah, this kid's a lineman. And just fast forward, in college, I played like outside linebacker, where I was like fast and running around and like covering the fast people. So like, that was just like automatically visually, they were like, yeah, you're nothing. Like, just, you're going to be the 4th string lineman. And like, I'll never forget, I got like this football card, and it was like this linebacker. I don't even know why I loved linebacker. It was this jacked guy, and it was like this XFL card, this like meathead. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but this guy is cool. He's got a sick name. Like, I want to be a linebacker. So like, I kept like telling myself that, and my coaches that, and they're like, nah. Like, I would be scared to go to practices. Like, 7th grade hit, 8th grade hit. All of a sudden in like 9th grade, like, we had this horrible coach. He almost made our entire team like quit the sport. Right. And I've had friends go to, high Division I levels to play football. We're all on the same team. Like, just a horrible person that was just miserable with his career and would just take everything out on practice on us. And if you did something wrong, like, made you run. So there was like this whirlwind. I guess that's what started to craft my mentality of like, I don't even know why I love this sport so much, but maybe it's to prove all these guys wrong. Right. And then I started to like build up my career. And then I got to like JV. My coach was like, TJ, you're going to be a linebacker. I'm like, what the heck? Like, a linebacker? Like, no way. Like, I was this, that, and this. And they were like, no, you're going to be a linebacker. So I had this one quality that like, and maybe it stemmed from me like looking at that like meathead on the football card, but I just would hit people really hard, not like punch them. So like, when you watch Kylie, she's like flashy and fast and like cuts. Like, I was just like, person A is running that way. I'm angry enough to like hit them really hard. So I wasn't like skilled. I was just like, run my head through that person. And at Babylon High School, where they don't teach you any like playbooks. It was like run and hit. We were really like just tough kids, undersized, tough kids that could compete with anybody. So I started getting a name for like being this like really hard hitter. And like my senior year, we were playing West Hampton, and I hit this kid so hard in like he was running right at me. I picked him up and I like drove him 3 yards back. And the next day I went to school in social studies class, there was this video on the board, and I was up for like best hit in New York State. And like my entire class was like voting for this thing.
That's
So,
a
like,
thing.
yeah, it was like, you know, those like crazy hits you see on ESPN where like the football player gets knocked out.
Yes.
Like, it was one of those hits, and like I was up for that. So I like started to build this confidence. I'm like, oh, this is sick. Like maybe I'm decent at football. Like people are starting to notice. So my senior year comes around, and I played both ways because Babylon's tiny. I was playing like lineman. I was on kickoff. I was like on all these special teams. So like halfway through the season, and I was like the leading tackler on the team, like, or up there. Halfway through the season, I was like, Coach, listen, I'm not an offensive guy. Like Pat on the bench, like he's better at offense. Like, let me just play one way. Like sacrificing for the team to just play defense, to like be less tired and just like dominate more, so that this guy, like, I had no business on offense. So he was like, all right, awesome. Right. So the year goes on. We go like, I don't know, we made it to like the Suffolk County or Long Island, Suffolk County championships. And like after the season, and mind you, midway through the season, I was supposed to be like captain. So all the captains obviously come out. It's like literally 6 of my best friends who have like the names in the town. Like, this guy is this family been here, like all these kids that play other sports. And so I go into the coach's office, and I'm like, Coach, I thought I was gonna be captain. He was like, yeah. He's like, you're gonna be the defensive captain. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we'll tell the team. Like, the hell's the defensive captain? That's literally him going, no, you're not. Like, get out of my office. Like, I really don't want to talk to you. Like, just go back in there. So like, as a young, like, I guess insecure kid, you're like, oh yeah, I'm the defensive captain. But really, you're literally the squid that like all your friends are these real things, and you're this. So I didn't really realize it until after the season, when I got all division. All my friends got all county, all state. My coach comes up to me and goes, I go, Coach, like, what happened? Like, I was like leading tackler, like I sacrificed. And they were like, don't worry, TJ, like just go to the all county dinner. Like, it's fine. And like, being that insecure kid, I'm like, let's sick. Like, I'm going to all county dinner. Then I get there, I'm sitting there. There's like the best players on Long Island are like in this ceremony. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I start to realize it. I'm like, I'm literally getting humiliated. Like, I'm not even getting an award. I'm sitting at this table because my coach didn't vote for me because I played one way, and I was just the go over there, TJ player. And I'm sitting there just getting like, no one was ridiculing me, but I'm getting ridiculed. Everyone's standing up. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I guess right there was like a switch where I'm like, that is my drive. Whatever this, I never want to experience this feeling again. Like being looked down upon, this and that. So I kind of got like extremely unmotivated. And, you know, we have our end of the year football thing. And like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing college football. Like, this is over. So we do this thing where like the entire team circles up, and one person goes in, or the coach goes in, and they say this thing, and they don't say your name at first. So like, you don't know who it is. Most people can guess it. So they start saying this thing. They're like, yeah, this is one of our best players. You know, we think you can have a very successful college. So once they said that, like, college career, I started talking to my buddy. I'm like, and they were like, TJ, like, come on up. And, you know, I'm like, my heart sunk into my like hips. I don't even know if you can go that low. So I get in the middle, and I'm like my speech was to be like, okay, being done with football. And now this guy is like, you know, we think he could be one of the only players on this team to play in college. And I'm like, the heck? Like, my emotional state was like someone like threw it across the football field like 50 times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at that point, I'm like, I don't know what to feel. Like, believe this guy or not believe this guy, right? So that goes on. I start working out really hard. I got down to 150 pounds because I was like chubby. And I remember telling my mom when I was like 13, like, I need to lose weight, like I'm getting made fun of and this and that. Then my coach goes, TJ, you need to gain like 60 pounds to play in college. I'm like, like this whirlwind of like, you know, am I lean? Am I going to play in college? Right. So like all that goes on. I bust my butt like all off season. Like I'm working really hard. I'm talking to these coaches like Cortland, Springfield, like these Division III teams, not like Division I or anything. I'm in contact with this Springfield coach in Massachusetts. You know, months go by and I'm like, I reach out to him. I'm like, hey, you know, did you get my tape? And they're like, tape? Like, we didn't get your tape. I'm like, my coach, he said he sent it out. So I go to my coach's office and like, yeah, we sent it. My coach didn't send my highlight film, my recruiting tape, just didn't send it.
Wow.
So the second most humiliating thing was I drove all the way to Massachusetts to hand my defensive coordinator my film to potentially get recruited. Literally, that's like, I don't know if you guys have experienced anything as embarrassing. Like your coach just was like, we're not sending anything to this guy to potentially have you play in college. So like the guy who just gave me that speech just told me that. So that's where like I went into this mode of like, I'm going to figure this out. I don't trust anybody. I'm doing this all on my own. The years of college, then I get hurt. Then I'm like being lied to about being the starter. Like I had no business going back my 5th year. I went back simply for the fact that if I didn't go back, every single thing they ever said about me was true. Right? I got hurt my junior year. Senior year I played, did horrible on the first game, and then got benched. So I could have ended my career there, had a start, awesome. But if I didn't go back to try to prove everybody wrong, then everybody was right. And I don't think I could have lived with that until I got back there and I realized, like, I'm not doing it. Screw them. I'm not doing this for anybody else. This is for me. Like, I'm going to prove myself right. So I worked my way up all the way into the starting lineup. My college coach was just like my high school coach, didn't believe in me. I end up starting a few games into the season, end up going undefeated for that entire year, became captain towards the end of the year, got like all these awards for leadership. And my coach came up to me at the end of the season, said it was like the best leader he's seen in the last like couple years. I almost literally like if there was someone to catch me, I would have fell, passed out and fainted. That moment of like 10-year journey was like validated right at that moment. Like everything I worked for, like that moment, like there was just something like I felt like I out of body experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that like thing that was in my tooth, I found it, and like it was like everything was alleviated. And for you guys, like to be in a better position to not necessarily have to go through all those struggles, you have, you know, access to a Kylie, stuff like us. Like I'm working with Sarah for so long. Like you guys are building these things that Kylie and myself have experienced and failed at, like on like 10 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what excites me, right? And now I have this next journey of like the same discomfort of being let down in football. I'm not let down right now, but I know that there's a long drive to like build whatever I'm supposed to be building. And that whole journey has set me up to be the leader that I am today, simply for the fact that I know how to navigate and understand situations and strategies and people and injuries and just get into my own zone and then bring support staff around me now that actually care.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like that is the blueprint for like what I'm supposed to be doing now. So it was never football. It was like, you know, this is your path. You're going to struggle, but it's going to set you up for the next X amount of years of your life. But in the moment, you know, tearing my ligaments in my ankle twice and like knowing the journey of a whole year of rehab, like
Mm-hmm.
it's miserable. And, you know, if I could fast forward for you guys and be like, listen, whenever you feel discomfort now, like let's fast forward to 5 years when you guys are like dominating every girl in your age group, then rewind and go back, you guys would feel a lot better. I don't have that magic potion yet. I hope one day I can.
Mm-hmm.
So Kylie and I try to build like this connected model of like, let's just figure out everything that could block these girls and help them build those skills so that 99% of what affects them is gone. And then they just got to go out there and just do it. Like literally leave it to do it.
I think, you know, I've known you for a long time and I learned a couple new things there about you through that story. So that's really cool. And I think that, you know, thank you for sharing that. And I do think that some of like the things that we go through, you just said it perfectly at the end, the things that we go through while we're going through them, they might be embarrassing, humiliating, miserable, frustrating, like there looks like there's no light at the end of the tunnel type situation. We all go through them. And I think that it's so important to be able to listen to the people around you, even if it is, us two old farts sitting here talking about right, our struggles, but you guys might not have the same struggle, the same exact journey. You're not going to. Everybody has their own journey. And there's going to be struggles along the way, but it's being able to kind of tie in where you know that you're struggling, where you know that you're failing, and where you know that the people around you are failing you. Being able to put all those things into one basket and say, okay, what can I do with this in order to not take a step down, not take a step backwards, but like move forward? Because I know that in a couple of years, like TJ said, I'm going to look back at this and probably laugh at it, right? It's going to be a step in my journey that I'm going to look back at, and I'm struggling a lot right now, but I'm going to look back and I'm going to laugh. And that's ultimately your biggest goal. But I think you mentioned it a little bit too. I think something that is so unique to your approach to your job and your approach to what you do with your athletes and myself personally as well. And something that, I've been around a lot of athletes. I've been around a lot of lacrosse players. I see a bunch of people with different trainers, different coaches, different things. And I've just never seen someone really holistically get into who the person is as an athlete the way that you do. And I mean, obviously it's so important, right? We're not only who we are on the lacrosse field. It's not just how we can do a split dodge the best, right? And how we can consistently do that split dodge, or it's not just how our endurance is up and running up and down the field. It's not just, what it is that we're fueling our bodies with our food and our nutrition and things like that. There's so many layers to it, and you include them all. And that's something that I had to learn going through it, right? But it's also something that going through it, we both preach a lot now. But I think, can you talk on that set? Because we've been talking a lot about the mental game of it and the mental side of it, goal setting, things like that. But, the other parts of it, right? Like, how can you, how is it that you can tie in, again, how you're fueling your body, right? Talk a little bit about nutrition. I know that's something that you're super passionate about. And it's also something that is so, so important that for some reason we look over, especially in our younger years. Like, I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story here before TJ gets going on probably telling you exactly what you need to eat right now, because just a magician with it. But like in high school, I would literally eat buckets of like macaroni and cheese and Sour Patch Kids, like soda right before a game, like right after class, right before a game. I knew nothing about how to fuel my body. I just knew I was hungry and I was going to go for what I needed to eat. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to my lacrosse practice. I'm going to run it off and it's going to be fine. Just because I'm an athlete, like I can eat like this. And it's obviously not true. You're going to get your best version of yourself if you're fueling your body the right way with what you're putting into your body. But I think I'm going to let the expert talk a little bit about that and how you got so invested into the nutritional side of things with athletes.
Yes, I think two things. Like, one, because of my whole journey, I really look at the person before the player, because I just have this, if you guys don't have a chip on your shoulder, I put one on there for you so that I just am motivated to work with you, right? So I literally just think like, all right, this coach is talking smack about Sarah. He says she's slow, she can't cut, her roll dodge is horrible, right? She's this, she's that. Like, they just looking down on you, right? Yeah, right? So I think of, okay, based on, because I deal with a lot of athletes, right? Where how are you supposed to manage all these personalities, right? Like, same sport, different person. So the way that they are as a person affects their style of play as an athlete, right? If I know the way Kylie is, I need to emphasize her order plus her creativity in her program design, right? So like, no one looks at that. We're looking at like sprints and runs. Like, I need to know that the way that she's genetically designed and how she behaves affects her style of play more than anything we do in the gym. So I think of the person first. Then, like, I just got like obsessed with like watching all the athletes play. Like, I want to know what the game is. Like, I could know nothing about lacrosse. Like, Sarah's watched me miss shots on the net millions of times. Like, I just started learning how to shoot. But that doesn't mean I can't go watch a game and break down how the movement, how their posture, how their facial expressions, how they're fueling, how the coaching staff is all affecting how a Kylie or anyone is playing on the field. So I think like watching the actual game and then working backwards to say, all right, using the game as an assessment. And it ties back into what you said before about how do you teach these girls how to be more okay with like a scary tournament coming up. It's like you got to use those games as an assessment. You guys are so young. Every tournament should literally be like an assessment. But we make it all emotional. It's like, oh man, this person said I'm not this. It's like, go out there. You missed 11 times. You had 6 goals. You had this, you had that. I felt tired. Bring that back to your coach. Your coach puts it on the platter. You guys work that out for the next, X amount of weeks until your next tournament, and then it goes away, right? So I look at the game and I work backwards, and then I figured out that physical performance, nutrition and body composition, mindset, and the actual technical and tactical skills were 4 areas of my life that I never had. So I figured if I just make it my career, I got to figure it out one way or another. So honestly, I became this kind of coach because those areas, going back to my story, were limiting me. Nutrition, like I was all out of whack body composition wise. I didn't have any confidence. I lacked the skill of football. My mindset was all out of whack because I couldn't control it, and I had no idea that there were actual skills that you can work on, right? And then like game intelligence, I had no idea about football. So I figured if I just figure out that these pillars affect an athlete from my personal experience, I'm sure that there's other athletes that are experiencing the same thing. And oh wow, if I just learn enough in these areas that I could teach others and figure out a way for them to practice them so that they become a skill, right? Rather than just some random advice, something can change, and you can literally, is that me or you? Yeah. You can literally mentor somebody through the stages and have a purposeful progression for them. So I think like I always go back down to like the way that you're fueled affects your facial expressions and your posture, right? If I'm standing on the field and I'm slumped forward, is it mobility? Am I tired? Did my mom just get me upset? Did my boyfriend break up with me? Did I not eat breakfast? Like all those things have an effect. Then you got to just go, all right, which one's the biggest one? Well, if I didn't drink any water and if Sarah only ate 500 calories the first day that we did our nutritional tracking, she's probably not going to run her 3-mile test very well. Oh, Sarah fueled, and oh wow, I got a random text. My miles went up, right? And she started running them and practicing them. So it's teaching you guys to look at it as more of an experiment with all these different canvases or one of those palettes that we're pulling from. And you guys, I don't know if you did biology yet, but like biology beats lacrosse skill. Meaning your body does not care that you're a lacrosse player. It cares if it's fueled, if it's hydrated, if it's recovered. Does it move well? Are you in pain? Then you layer in friends and family, and then you layer in your sports skill. So when I look at it like that, it allows me to customize. Kylie's whole journey, we worked on mindset for so long and physical performance. Then her junior year came around in college. It was like, oh man, nutritional is the biggest link. Like we didn't even pick up a stick or a speed drill for like 6 weeks or 6 months. It was like a long time. We just hammered away her heart rate conditioning, her body composition, and her meal plan. And we figured that we're going to go all in on those things because if she feels good by looking good, she's going to be a beast on the field. And she was okay emotionally and mentally to be like, I trust you. Let's do that. I'm going to buy into that. Like nothing else is working. Let's do it. Then she was flying around the field. And then we realized like, okay, what's the next layer? All right, back to physical performance, build the engine back up. So it's like this puzzle. And I feel like too many coaches they don't know enough on those domains. So they just say, she's too slow. Okay, why? Please tell me why she's slow. She's not running their mile fast enough. It's like, you know how many things affect someone's mile time, right? If I don't know how to cradle, how am I supposed to pass? Oh, that girl can't pass. All right, if I can't cradle because I'm scared every time my coach looks at me, that affects my game. And then my mom doesn't know how to shop at the grocery store, so she didn't bring me any breakfast. Like that, it's funny, but it's crazy that literally affects everything. So I try to eliminate and educate as much as possible on those things so that you guys just go out there and just like literally have fun. You're just having fun. Like, don't worry about those things. Like, let us take care of those things. So I think those elements all connect and there's no straightaway path. Like in school, we get taught chapter 1, 2, 3. It's, Kylie might need chapter 30 tomorrow. Go to chapter 1. Like she might need that part of her path, but I need to be able to see it and, work around it and work with it.
I mean, awesome. I think it's something that obviously I have invested my life in because of you. So I think that that's really exciting. And I don't know what chapter I'm going to need tomorrow. And I'm really excited to hear about it because I think, again, life is just, as an athlete, as a person, life is consistently changing. And I have learned this post-collegiately, but consistently changing. And even if your goals feel like they're the same, your big, vague general goals, you're going to continuously just kind of add these new goals and new aspirations and new things that take away some of your attention and your time. And I think that it's important to have a handle on why, or just knowing the fact that all of these things kind of level into that pyramid and kind of being able to pinpoint and find, okay, where is the issue? Why am I in a bad mood right now? It's not just because I'm in a bad mood. It's, it's because, okay, I didn't sleep well last night. Like I'm not playing bad at practice because I'm in a bad mood for no reason. It's because I did not drink any water and I didn't sleep well last night. But just kind of like knowing yourself in that sense is so, so important. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned from working with you for so long. And I think, just to kind of wrap up that point before we end on a couple questions from the crew here, we talk about it all the time, me and you, and we're getting a little open here, but I think one of the biggest things for me is that I am very public, right? And I think the public sees, and you girls see, a side of me that's very perfect and aspirational, and we want to kind of like be exactly like Kylie. And you see the side that's very much of a human being, much of a person who struggles through it all. And I want to expose that, right? Like, and how can I expose that as a daily struggle, a daily question that I ask myself? But I guess just to start it off, can you talk in a sense of like this side of me that you've seen through our journey together? And don't embarrass me too much here. I mean, I know. I'm kidding.
I think you care so much about everything. So sometimes that it's why you're so great at everything, because it drives you to do things. So I've seen it just affect your mental state and cloud what is actually happening. Like there'll be days where she runs like I make stuff up to like just test her, and she like dominates it, and like it just wasn't good enough. And that's literally just her perfect like mentality to get better at things. So I think I've seen that side, and I think I've helped cultivate this. Like when that's going there, I try to grab her and pull her back to her real creative side, because she's an insanely artistic, creative, free-flowing person, but like uses that mentality to like for some reason stop that creativity. But when you guys watch her on the field, she's not robotic. Like you guys watch college girls where they're like running around and they're like passing really weird. Like Kylie runs around, the stick's like, I don't even know where it is. It's like running around. But for some reason, off the field, she goes into robotic Rambo mode sometimes, where if she just took her on-field personality and mentality and was just like, that one time where we did that, like just be you like hung out with your friends was the habit. I literally think it was called like call a friend and hang out. She was like, she dropped like 1% body fat and was like faster than ever. And then we try to, because I'm the same way. I use this like mentality to like be structured and organized so much, and then it just keeps going that I lose the creative side, and then I hate everything, and then I start reversing my results. I got to smack myself and say, hold on, go back to this side. And it's this like fight. So I think what I'm really good at is seeing when she's tipping out of the one zone and pulling her back in. If she's going too creative, like, hey, you got to stick to your daily routine. Like, do your habits, check in. And when she's got like posters, walls of like everything she's going to do, it's like, go to the other side. Go out and relax. Go to the beach. Do something like that. So I think for me, I've seen the dark and bright side things. And sometimes people think that being stubborn's a bad trait. Like one of my favorite things I've done with Kylie is we've looked at all these leadership qualities and we've looked at the good side and the bad side of it. And the good and bad side of a bad thing. Like being selfish, guys, is not bad. It's bad if you're just selfish all the time. If I'm too selfless and I just do everything for everybody else, I don't get anywhere. But if I just do everything for myself, no one likes me. So I think what we've done is I've been able to look at all of the deep qualities about who Kylie is and say, this is your DNA, this is your makeup for our path. Like, let's hold you and balance and be agile enough to go back and forth between those. And it's just been amazing to see her start to internalize it. And like, she knows it now. Like that's why she's teaching you guys it. It's just there. So.
Well, all right. Thank you. That could have been much, much worse.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important, girls. And I know that like, it's a lot of what, and I say this all the time, right? Like a lot of Kylie's Corner, a lot of these Wednesday wisdoms, and just a lot of the things that I like to put, even some of my Instagram captions, like it seems something so silly, but it's something important to me. And it's something that I want to share from my perspective and my journey. And I think that a lot of times we see things, and I see it all the time, right? Like you look at an athlete, or you look at an Instagram influencer, or you look at something that just seems so perfect and it just kind of like came to fruition. And that's just not real life, right? Like we have to recognize that like everybody out there is human. Everybody, we did this on a Kylie's Corner habit one week. Like everybody's going through something that we know nothing about, right? No matter what it seems like on social media, or no matter what it seems like in their professional career, what kind of accolades they have. And I think just kind of being aware of that about the people around you, first and foremost, that helps me be a better person, right? It helps me kind of like reach out extra to the people around me to make sure that they're doing all right, or if they need me. And that in turn, that helps me become a better leader, become a better teammate, become someone that these people can trust. And, I think I spoke about it a lot as well, as like putting your energy towards your circle, towards the people around you, helps you, one, come out of your shell, and it also helps you thrive as a person, helps you realize like what you need to be able to do in order to take the next step. But thank you for sharing that information on me. And thank you for all that you do to pull me back onto the good side, or from the good side onto the bad side, whichever way I need. We'll find out tomorrow at my next check-in meeting. But all right, we're gonna end on a little fun note here, but a couple questions that we had from our Instagram poll today. One, I think just quickly, what, like they saw that you were my nutritionist, and one of the best questions that I get, that I don't necessarily know the right way to answer every single time, but what is a good pre and post game meal for a young female lacrosse player?
So I'm gonna have a very unorthodox answer to the pre. I'll give a very good answer for the post.
Got it.
I feel like your body is built on routines, right? So Kylie knows this because Kylie's pregame, or Taryn, one of you guys with the weird pregame meals, okay, Skittles or something like that, right? When you tell a high-level athlete, someone who's built up a ritual to start then change their pregame meal, your body just has no idea, right? Sarah, like the first time we ate breakfast and you were like, I'm so full, like I don't know what to do. Like imagine every girl in the country, they have a big tournament this week and they go out and they change their whole routine. They're going to suck on the field. So I think the pregame meal, guys, is do what makes you feel the most comfortable, right? The meal before that should be high quality proteins, like pick your favorite protein, pick some. I don't go right into quality, I go right into quantity, right? So I just want to make sure you guys have a sufficient size meal. If you guys make a fist, or it's not a fist, an open hand, like a palm is a size of protein, right? So if I have a burger, I better make sure my burger is the size of my fat hand right now. This is a nice fat burger, right?
Right?
If I go like this, right, that's a vegetable, right? If I have, 2 pieces of bread, that's perfect, right? If I make a sandwich or something like that. So I think it's sticking to what makes you feel comfortable until you actually want to change the habit. And that's something like me and Kylie could work on, where we actually build the routines. But I think post-game meal needs to fuel. Like I usually go with like, rice, or if you're on an away game, like, a Chipotle bowl is awesome with chicken and steak and everything in it. Like, go to town on a big fueling meal, but also realize you guys just burn so many calories. Like, if you have a cookie or if you have a brownie at one of the tailgates, it's okay. But I think the bad thing is like just going home and just like relaxing for like 2 hours, like fuel up right away. You don't have to run right to the tailgate, but just make something hefty.
You can definitely run right to the tailgate. That's what
I used to eat like 75 cookies, so we're good.
When you guys get to college, you know what we're talking about. All the tailgates are awesome. All the parents bring all sorts of like your favorite food they bring every single time, and then it's all the team's favorite foods in one spot. And
it's the only reason why I watched Kylie.
Yes, that's the only reason he came to my game is at the tailgate afterwards. But I want to end this before I say thank you for being here. But I just want to end this with: do you have a favorite either book or sports movie that you can recommend to these girls, or documentary?
My favorite book is probably Legacy. Kylie's one of her favorites. It's
mine as well.
It's about like the New Zealand rugby team, but it's just so powerful because it's like very short chapters on leadership. So there's so many takeaways from it, and I just think it's such an awesome book to like ingrain in you when you guys are young. And then I just love like documentaries. Like I love Kobe Bryant's documentary. I love like seeing the person rather than watching like this goes back to drive and motivation, like seeing the person's actual journey, like real life journey. So,
well, thank you so much, TJ, for all of your wisdom. I mean, not only tonight for the last hour, but literally on a daily basis for the last 10 years and counting. I'm excited to see where our journey is going to go. And girls, I will say, like, I know I gave him a lot of high praise, but I would literally not be sitting in front of you right now if it weren't for the days in the trenches with men right here. So, and I'm going to probably run for this tomorrow, but
yep, extra runs.
But I think it's so important to find people around you that are going to be a lot like come in line with your goals. And sometimes that's a hard journey to find those people, but when you do, you're going to know it. You're going to kind of just know right away. And TJ is definitely that person for me. So thank you for all that you do. And thank you for, inspiring these young girls, even if it's just for their pre or post game meal. I'm sure that they took all sorts of awesome notes. And, thank you for all that you do and for all the wisdom. And if you wanted to say anything to the girls before you left, please feel free.
Sarah might get some sprints in there too.
Woo! Love it. And Grace, we'll send you some too,
we need to see your brother flex again.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you girls for being here again. And
thanks,
I hope you guys have an awesome week. I'll see you guys on Fun Friday, hopefully. Keep crushing it. All right. And keep writing down those goals. Keep journaling, TJ. I love it.
Okay, I will. All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.